Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Berserk chapter 382. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? To be quite frank, I thought this week's chapter was okay. I thought it was very straightforward, down to business, which pretty much in all culminated in the finale, which seems to be a hint that God's going to some sort of self-discovery kind of journey by himself, which I'm actually very excited to see, and hopefully he's able to overcome all the grief that has happened ever since the Fantasia arc ended, and hopefully he's able to get his mojo back, because we do know that he's pretty much exiled and he's going on this little training arc, or for me it seems like some sort of training arc, in the sense that he will be able to overcome the Beast of Darkness. To what means that exactly will happen, I don't know just yet, but that's what I'm speculating, and I'm actually very curious to see how that plays out. Now, before I go any farther with this chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Berserk content, as well as all my anime content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to this chapter. So this chapter pretty much picks up right where we left off, which is Guts being escorted out of the city, because he got exiled, and you see all these guards still pushing him around, and they seem to be going to the middle of nowhere. And pretty interesting thing is that Guts looks very thin, and I've seen this complaint by many people, like, oh, did the studio forget how to draw Guts? And I'm like, guys, did you guys forget that the Berserker armor has drained him to a husk of what he used to be? Like, Guts is no longer the healthy, super muscular, top shape kind of guy. He's that armor has been sucking literally his life. I mean, there's a reason why he has that white streak or gray streak of hair in his right here. It's from all the stress that armor takes upon him. So I've seen many people complaining, like, oh, I don't like how Guts looks like. Well, guess what? That's what happens, man. Remember, that armor is literally sucking his life essence, in other words. So it makes sense why he looks so I wouldn't say malnourished exactly, but he looks very frail. I think that's purposely done, obviously, because it represents how he's frail mentally right now, as well as literally physically. He's at his weakest state, both mentally and physically, arguably, in the entire story thus far. Maybe not including the eclipse, obviously, but you know what I mean. But continuing on, we see that he's being escorted out, and one of the top show, I think those were called the Salat Boys, the bodyguards. They're talking to Salat, is like, hey, just so you know, we're beyond permitted grounds now. After this, this is forbidden ground. If you want to turn back, let's turn back now. Only the high priestess, which are the monks that were with Guts, are able to come here. So just letting you know. And Salat just kind of quiet, and he's like, whatever, bro. And he just continues going on. And we see this we see that Eidro's like, wow, you guys stumble back there. We see that eventually Daiba notices them, is like, oh, so you guys came here. And we see that pretty much Daiba explains to them, is like, okay, this point is this will be your own self path, because you're about to enter the Teletela, I think that's what it's called, or I could be wrong, something like that. And what it looks like, it's this big round kind of thing, a nice little it kind of reminded me, if you ever seen Dragon Ball Z, a Namek house, in a sense. It's just a little circular house, or not a house, obviously, but a circular building that seems to be where people get confined and thrown in when they get exiled. And that's exactly what they're going to do to Guts. And as all that is happening, we see that eventually Daiba tells the oh no, I don't think it's Daiba, it's actually Salat. It's tells the Tapasha to open the doors, and these guys they all flex, and they open it, and it goes to show, because if it takes two of them to open those things, those things are very hard to open. These guys are prime, they don't skip bench press at all. they don't skip curls, they don't skip none of that, bodybuilder workouts, and because they're in top shape, and they struggle to open that door, but they do after flexing. And as they open it, you see that there's literally darkness in there. And that could be a representation, once, what I'm thinking of it, I think it might be a solitary confinement kind of situation, where I know sometimes in real life, or back in the day, medieval times, whatever, they would literally throw people in a room that's dark, close it, and they would deal with their sentence like that. I wonder that's what they're exactly going to do to Guts, because what happens is, as they open the doors, you see pretty much everybody oh my god, Guts is going to go in. And you see this part with Salat is I don't care what you can just rot, and you know you're useless now. You're a husk of your former self. For all I care, you can just go in there and rot away for the rest of your life. And you know, Salat is just kind of like a little sassy, and I'm like, oh, little tsundere Salat right here. You know, a little. I don't even care about guts. Uh, but in all honesty, you know, I think he genuinely means that, you know, like as he's seeing guts in his current state, he probably thinks like, you know, this is not a fixer upper. You cannot fix guts up right now. This is a lost cause. I don't need him anymore. Throw him away. Get rid of him. And as he's being pretty much thrown in there, you see it actually a very good moment that I'm sure I actually haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. And I think it's a great character moment for Eidro, which we see that he, as all this is happening, you see this kind of like despair look in his face where he's like, Guts, no. And as soon as Guts goes in there and like pretty much accepts his fate, you see Eidro just like crawl down, and he's devastated. And you know, listen, I know many people Eidro is not their favorite. I wouldn't say he's my favorite either, obviously. But he's an essential part of the crew, I think, in some regards. He brings something to the table, you know, the comedic role. And you know, I also like the idea of, you know, Guts being like his big role model, and you know, something like along those lines. You know, Guts is his hero. So imagine yourself being a kid and watching your hero, you know, being defeated and, you know, looking in such distress that he has given up hopes in anything. That would hurt you, man. Like, I think that would actually take a very impactful hit in your mental state, because you'll be like, wow, my hero, the guy I looked up to, is in this state in mind. Like, what? Like, he's supposed to be like, you know, indestructible, impenetrable, you know, just like the epitome of, you know, just badassery, but he's not right now. So I think that, you know, this is gonna, I think we will get something out of this with Eidro. And hopefully, you know, once Guts gets, you know, his mojo back, he like talks to Eidro, like, hey, did I worry you or something? Just a nice moment like that I would like to see. So yeah, I thought that was a great moment of Eidro towards the end of the chapter. And like I said, the chapter just pretty much ends where, you know, Guts, as he just goes into the darkness, and you know, that's you know, he has this look of despair, just kind of like giving up hope. And pretty much the chapter ends where he goes in there, and that's where we cut off. We don't know exactly what's going to happen going forward. If I had to speculate a couple of things, like I said, I think this is going to be a moment of self-realization for Guts, like where we literally see physically that he's covered in nothing but darkness. So it might be a situation where, you know, like the beast of darkness itself shows up. It's like, you see, this is what happens when, you know, just let me take over and you can get your revenge or something. Another theory I have seen is that maybe this is some sort of ritual where the Kushans are gonna get rid of the mark, the brand mark on Guts, which personally I don't know if they'll be able to do that, question mark, because I don't know, man. If the Godhead marks you, I think you need much more powerful magic, but who knows? You know, we do know how powerful the spellcasters and the Kushan are. I mean, look at Daiba. But I always thought that Daiba was like their top tier, and if it's their, you know, he never even mentioned something like that. We also gotta like think about a Shirke. If somebody was gonna get rid of something like that, I would think Shirke would be, because she's like a prodigy. But who knows? Maybe they have some unknown magic. Maybe there's something along the lines like, maybe Guts, actually, you think about it, maybe what if the Kushans are gonna do something to Guts similarly to what Shirke did to Casca, where they, as well as Farnese, when they went into her mind and kind of like help her, you know, overcome her traumas and all that. Maybe there's a little bit of journey where Guts has to do that, like literally, but instead of that, it's himself, because no one's gonna go in there. Like, I don't think the monks are gonna be all nice and friendly to accompany Guts in a journey like that. So maybe it's something like all in the lines, like literally they'll make Guts go into like a kind of a journey within himself mentally, where he has to overcome, you know, the Casca being taken away, and he has to move forward, because obviously he's the struggler. He has to struggle and always push forward, because that's the theme of the story. So I would like to see something along those lines going forward with Guts' character. But enough of me rambling. I thought this chapter was good. I'm very excited to see what happens next. We don't have a release date just yet, but when we do, I'll make sure to make a review for you guys. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Berserk, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.